Hello, good morning, good evening, good afternoon, whatever time of the day it is that you're tuning in to this latest episode of Articulate Thoughts. I'd like to welcome you. And I'm just in a really chill mood right now. I'm just not even sure exactly what to talk about, but I'm just gonna like kind of ramble of a few experiences that's been happening in the last little while. I feel I'm just on a roll, man. I'm just in a really good roll. Just hanging out with some cool people or just doing some great things, meeting some great people and being involved in some great activities that I feel it's great for me. Just feeling really good and trying out new things and challenging myself in different ways. And it's really exciting. It's really cool and it's awesome. And this year is slated to be the best year of my life yet again. So I don't know. I just feel like I'm just like in this groove and this pattern, and it has this like attractive pull, and I've been consistently getting this compliments or just this feeling, and people come up to me and they say like you got good vibes. I like hanging out with you. You got such a positive attitude. I feel comfortable around you. I feel like I could tell you things that like I can't tell anyone else, but I hardly know you, and you just seem very non-judgmental and really chill. And that seems to be like coming, and I'm very flattered and I'm very humbled by people saying that to me because I know it's one of those things that it's not like an easy thing. It's not like an everyday thing you tell someone. You know what I mean? It's like a special kind of conversation, and for people to be comfortable enough to say that to me outright is like wow, like the you know what I mean? It's a reflection of how these people feel around me, and um since I was little, I had, everyone has like their own insecurities when it comes to other people, and I always felt like inadequate or felt like unwanted or I wasn't cool enough or I was annoying or whatever. And now to be at this point where people, people that I've only met for like a couple days or like, just been work with or whatever, just to give me these kind of compliments is just wow, it's cool. It's really awesome, and to be at a point in my life where I could actually believe those things are true too. Like I've had experiences in the past where people give me compliments, and I'm like, man, they just want something from me. They're just flattering me, and like they're just bullshitting me. But I sense like now it's very different. I feel it's very genuine, and I definitely I'm in a situation where because I've had self confidence issues in the past, when I receive those compliments, I just kind of have a go on an ego trip. It just goes to my head, and I just kind of um you know think I'm the shit or whatever, and I just kind of go overboard with certain things. So I gotta, keep it real, be level headed, and again, just kind of keep the focus on what I've been doing for the past little while. And those results of having a positive impact on other people is great, but the focus has to remain on uh, myself, and not like in a selfish way. Like there's a very very slight distinction that makes a very big difference, and like being selfish in a sense that I'm gonna focus on myself. I'm gonna put my time and effort into things that I want to do, and you know and the next step behind that is, am I participating in things that will benefit myself and the people around me? um, that dangerous type of selfishness is when I'm doing things for myself and I don't care how it impacts other people. Like it's just about me. It's all about me and how I feel and and getting what I want. And if other people have to suffer or go through something negative for me to experience that, then so be it. I don't care. That's when that selfishness gets to a dangerous place. And there is like this balance between like the dark side and the light side of the force, to use like a common analogy that people are very aware of. I guess that's something I want to go a little bit deeper because like there is this thing about being selfish that kind of has a negative connotation, but it's really crucial and important to being a very grounded positive human being that can contribute something positive to other people. Like you can't really give something you don't have, and I felt like me moving away from my hometown, a lot of it was like learning how to love myself so I could give that out. Because when I was in my hometown I was trying to like love people. I was like, man, like I'm putting so much time and effort into loving other people and helping other people, why am I not getting results? So yeah, I made that decision to just kind of separate myself from that life and then just focus on myself. And now it seems like those results that I desired before are coming into the picture. So yes, there is definitely a light side and a dark side to everything, and there's always a balance. And the dark side does serve a purpose. So when it comes in to my life, like whenever I have a fear, anger, disappointments, or inadequacies, or whatever negative emotion kicks in, like I understand like that serves a purpose, and I don't demonize it. I accept it for what it is, and I thank it for having its you know presence in my life, because I know that everything does serve a purpose, and even just having that intention in itself will help the situation. Um, but one of the things I really wanted to dive into with more specificity is this whole thing about the dark side. So Yoda says, fear leads to anger, anger leads to hate, hate leads to suffering, and that is very much the path that I've seen. So when I was saving up money to move out of my hometown, I was working a lot. So I was working in a factory for maybe about 40 or 50 hours a week, and then I would go into a serving job for maybe 15 or 20 hours a week, sometimes maybe even 30. So I was working anywhere between like 50 and like 80 hours a week at that point. And it took a lot of energy to keep myself going. And I was definitely in a place of fear and anger. I was fearing not being accepted, or not being able to be who I am, fear not of having control of my life, and that led to anger. I'm like, okay, and I'm like angry. Okay, why do I feel this way? And just pointing fingers at all these things. And then, I felt myself progress through these stages. And when it got to hate, that's when, you know, like I felt very powerful. It was very motivating. It was a very powerful driving force that helped me do this work, and just I had so much focus into expressing my hate. And I remember working at the factory one day, and I was just working, and it clicked. I'm like, I'm too far into the dark side. Like, the fear and the anger that that had that powerful emotion, but I got like addicted to that feeling. It pulled me in deeper, and I got to a point where I said to myself, I'm gonna go out west, and I'm gonna build this wicked life, and I'll show these people that I don't need them, that they suck. They're not, they're not good enough for me. I'm better than them, and I will show them. And they at that point I will be a better person. I'll have everything, and I don't need them anymore. And then there was this like internal dialogue. I'm like, is that right? Is that what you really want though? But like at the time, I was so wrapped up in this dark side thing, and it pulled me to that point. Like I couldn't even see it happening. I just suddenly like snapped out of it. I'm like, whoa, I'm in freaking deep. And then I had this like perspective of how it would be like for some other people, where they just kept on going and going and going. They just kept on feeding this feeling, and they kept on getting results. They kept on getting more of the things they wanted on the surface, but they weren't getting that feeling of peace and balance. And then I took a step back, like, okay, like then I understood like that would like those like when Yoda says those things like fear leads to anger, anger leads to hate, hate leads to suffering. That is really true, and it goes in that order. It starts off as like a small thing that you're just scared of, and you want to do something about it, or like you're scared of it, and then you project anger at it, so you create this kind of war between you and your fear through anger, and then that anger leads to hate. Like that anger like leads to like a feeling of I have to do something about this, and then when you're doing the action about it, like why am I doing this? It's like, oh, because I hate this thing, or whatever it is you're pushing the hate at, and that's what leads to the suffering, because it just pulls you in, and like you can't. It consumes me so much that you can't really see anything else. And that's when I kind of had that awakening, or that cognition, like, okay, whoo, I got to reframe this. Like it wasn't like I should stop pursuing this, but it's more so the attitude, or like the lens I was perceiving it through has to change. Otherwise, I'm gonna go be at that suffering point. And yeah, so I kind of made that adjustment, and I kind of understood. So I guess like the whole point of the video is to just express that like all of our emotions and everything have a purpose, and there's nothing to be scared of when it comes to like those dark side emotions. If anything, they serve you. Um, I guess I could go more in more depth, but the time is going to be running out soon. So If you've seen this video and you want to open up a conversation about it, or maybe share a story of when you've had fear that led to anger, anger that led to hate, hate that led to suffering. I'd like to get your perspectives and like your experiences from that. And yeah, thanks for tuning in, and we'll see what comes up for next week. Peace out.